What's up guys, Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about 10 of the top heroes that were meta heroes at the One Esports Dota 2 World Pro Invitational Singapore. Hopefully I said that right. I feel like I'm missing something, but basically the pros have started to dissect what is good and what is not. And as a result, I want to bring today a video kind of putting forth those heroes that are extremely strong right now and much better than the rest, because frankly, that's the reality of Dota. Some heroes are better than the others. Let's talk about why and just basically how well they did at the tournament. Also, over on the main gameleap website, I plan to do some more content in terms of pro replays. Usually I focus more on doing the pro replays for YouTube, but I want to do a few for the main website as well. In addition, I'm doing Random at 6K. If you don't know what that is, Random at 6K is where I basically play pubs and I analyze my own games so you can get in the head of, me, a pro player. Because typically when I'm doing these pro replay analysis, I have to, not completely guess, but somewhat guess on what they're thinking and what their opinions are. But when I'm doing my own replay analysis, I can give you exactly what I'm thinking and show you exactly how I win my games and how you can do it too. So the first thing I want to note is actually the particular win rates of a few heroes. Now, this doesn't have to do with the top 10 heroes. I just want to give this as a baseline and make it a talking point for the future. But essentially, I was looking at the win rates of the heroes, and a few caught my mind, two in particular that I want to look at here. And the fact of this is that Tiny is a hero with a overall 45% win rate at the tournament over 40 games. Very, very picked, right? Highly picked hero. On Radiant, he had a 54% win rate over 26 games, and on Dire, he had a 29% win rate over 14 games. My question is, why is it so drastic? Like, he literally has a massive spread, right? 25% spread from Radiant to Dire. Same thing for Viper. Viper has a 79% win rate on Radiant, but a 45% win rate on Dire. Moving forward, even one more as I just continue to look at the list, right? Morphling, 64% win rate on Radiant, 33% on Dire. And kind of it keeps on going. Like, it literally keeps on going. Treant, same thing, 70-30. My question is Radiant just much stronger than Dire right now, and why? So that's probably going to be another video in the future, but now let's get into the top 10 heroes. Also, if you want to see more videos like this in the future where I just kind of talk about what I think is good and really give you an in-depth analysis of what is being picked and what is meta, like the video, it helps us out a lot. And now let's get into it. So first off, the main hero I want to say that is absolutely broken right now, definitely one of the strongest in the game, is Doom. And funny enough about Doom, he does not follow this correlation of stronger on Radiant than Dire. In fact, he's better on Dire, 67% to 58. Overall, the hero was picked 30 times, which is the second most in the tournament, and had an overall of a 63% win rate, which is brutally high. Now, why is this? Well, in my opinion, it's relatively simple. I think the hero just currently works right now. It allows you to tri-lane very effectively because it's one of the best solo offlaners in the game. That's just a fact. And Scorched Earth right now is extremely good. When you max it out, it's one of the highest damage spells in the game. In addition, Devour is super simple to use right now, especially if you're trying to play it in pubs. All you have to do is max it out after your Scorched Earth, eat some creeps, get some regen, and you get like an insane amount of gold, especially when you get to that level 15 talent. You get 350 gold. 350 gold? Like, what in the world is that? How you get 350 gold every time you just eat a creep on a 70-second cooldown? It's legitimately like a 280 GPM spell that also gives you HP regen and the ability to have an extra ability. Also, I think the jungle items are kind of nice on Doom. I don't think in particular it's insane, but the ability to just have all these extra stats can help out a hero like Doom a lot. Ironwood Dree is fantastic. Ocean Heart can be fantastic. Overall, I just think this hero's Scorched Earth ability is broken. That's just kind of the main thing. It's like you turn on Scorched Earth, you hit them with an Inferno Blade when you're level 4, and most heroes just kind of die. Yeah. Moving on, we have Venge coming in at the number 2 slot. And this is another hero that has had 30 games picked at the tournament on a 60% win rate, which is also obscenely high. Like, obscenely high. And the thing about Venge is I think this hero overall is just insane right now. I really do think the hero is just insane. Frankly, I think Venge was a very underpicked hero in the past. Like, Venge has been good for a while, in my opinion. Now, she got these aura changes, which, in my opinion, are particularly odd and maybe too strong. But really, the main thing I want to focus on is the idea that this hero has 2 swaps. Now, I know Vengeance Aura might be the talking point for most other people, but I think the 2 swaps is just insane. It's insane. Like, it literally is insane. It's so insane. Because you can constantly just reposition people once you hit level 6. It's not like oh, you get some talent and now you have 2 swaps. No, at level 6, you can just consistently swap in and out, in and out, in and out. It allows you to have the easiest kill potential in Dota because you just take someone out of position, which is so useful. Like, I can't stress how useful that is. And then you just kill them because you stun them and you make their armor drop by 6 when it's maxed out. Like, this hero just kind of has everything you want. A decently solid laning stage, considering Wave of Terror is an AoE armor reduction. In addition, you have Vengeance Aura, which gives bonus primary attribute. I mean, that was the reason Luna, right? Remember Luna when she was picked as a support, guys? The main reason Luna was picked as a support was because she gave bonus primary attributes. Now, Vengeful Spirit, a support, like Luna wasn't even a support, but Venge, a support that has a stun, some of the best utility in the ultimate in the game, and a armor reduction spell that also is extremely good for stacking, which is, you know, really good in this patch as well, all of a sudden has this attribute thing. It's like, what? What? How is this possible? How is this possible? Luna was good without any good supporting abilities besides, I guess, a nuke. Basically 0 supporting abilities. Venge has it and has 3 supporting abilities. It is so broken. Moving on to number 3, we have Viper. Now, the cool thing about Viper is his ability to be first picked in Dota. Like, you literally can pick Viper any role. I'm not kidding, literally any role, every single role. And that's basically the reason you can first pick it, because it's just like the strongest laner in Dota right now. If it's not number 1, situationally, right, it could be beat by certain heroes, maybe like a Batrider could do pretty well, but overall this hero just dumpsters, and straight up dumpsters most heroes in lane. Treant Protector, one of the best traders in Dota, cannot man up to Viper. It can't man up to Viper. It's so funny. We saw it in the tournament multiple times, right, where a Treant would lane against Viper and Viper's just like, and the guy just dies. It's so funny. And that's the reality behind Viper. You pick it early into your draft and the enemy team is like, oh shoot, now I don't want to pick certain heroes mid that get dumpstered by Viper. But at the same time, they're like, oh, I don't want to pick certain side laners that get dumpstered by Viper. So what do we pick? I don't know. You just have to hope for the best and hope you don't just get the worst lanes possible, because frankly, Viper just does anything you want him to in any role. In addition, I think this hero's talents are extremely good for this right-click sort of Viper, right? Ever since they changed it where you're going to want to be right-clicking with your poison attack, his talents make a lot of sense. You have 25 attack speed, 125 attack range, 90 damage, or 100 Viper Strike DPS, which is always a great talent. And then you have Nether Toxin Silences, which is always just an amazing talent. It is so disruptive in teamfights. Or technically you could take Poison Attack Effects Buildings, which frankly I haven't seen, so I don't know if it's good or not. But overall, really broken talents on a hero with extremely good laning stage, good flash farming. It really does everything you want. Next up on the list is a hero I'm very proud to say is doing well. Why is that? You might be like, Speed, that makes no sense. Why are you proud? Well, I've thought that Disruptor is extremely good for a while. Basically, one of the main reasons is I think a lot of people previously saw this hero as an awful laner. They're like, oh, Disruptor, I just run him over. His Q is so good though. It's so good. The main reason being, if he Qs you and you try to juke in the trees, which typically is a big facet of good trading, it doesn't work because they can still hit you, right? And that's like the main thing for me. It's so hard to juke Disruptor in all stages of the game, but specifically the laning stage. You have extremely high attack range, right? One of the highest in the game. And you have this Q that just allows you to poke. Also, Kinetic Field is unbelievably good at trading because if you separate someone, they get locked in for such a long duration of time, right? That duration at level 1 is 2.6 seconds. It's essentially a 2.6 second stun at level 1. Now, they don't actually get stunned, but in the laning stage, if you separate someone, especially in a ganking scenario where maybe your position 4 TP's in, you all of a sudden just set up and it's such a free kill. So yeah, I really think that's the main reason why this hero is so good. In addition, it had so much synergy with Naga throughout the tournament. We saw a ton, and I mean a ton of disruptors with Naga. Not always, but one thing that I find pretty funny right now is the Naga Disruptor Darkseer combo that we saw a few teams running. Because essentially what they did is now they made it where you can use Vacuum during the Naga song, and then you can Static Storm on top of it. It's really wombo combo-y. The only problem is it's relatively high cooldown because it has to be based around song, and it can be kind of countered by BKBs, but overall, Disruptor, absolutely fantastic right now. In addition, I think his Ags is one of the most broken Ags in the game. Just the ability to catch someone in the late game and prevent them from BKB for 7 potential seconds, right? The duration of it is 7 seconds, and the kinetic field is 4.4. You're going to guaranteed for 4.4 seconds prevent someone from BKBing. In addition, it does some of the highest damage in Dota, right? The spell's damage is unbelievable. It is unbelievable how much damage Static Storm can do if you roll high. And that's why I think Disruptor is just so broken. Also, I didn't even mention Glimpse, which is just obnoxious. You can't push into Glimpse. Next up on the list, we have TA, and this hero is holy right now. I actually think TA is, I'm going to say it's number 1. If you're looking for a hero to solo queue right now and stomp with, I think TA is the hero. I really do. I think this hero is so broken right now. And the reason why I say that is I think you legitimately can first pick TA, number one. You can first pick this hero. I'm not kidding. You could pick it into Viper, and as long as you know when to jungle and how to jungle fast, you can play it. I'm serious. It's not great necessarily, but you can play it. The hero, over 19 games, which is a fair sample size, 19 games is fair, had an 84% win rate. 84% win rate. A 92% win rate on Radiant. Are you kidding me? That is unbelievably high. 68 on some other heroes, it shocked me. I see 84 over 19 games, I'm just like, okay, this clearly is an extremely good hero. And for pubs, it is so good because if you saw my video yesterday, you know you want to be picking a hero and striving for timings. If you're playing TA, all you need to do is copy the pros, copy their item builds, copy their farming patterns, copy their skill builds, copy how they use traps, refraction, mangoes, salves, everything, copy it. And then every single game, strive to get a better timing. Strive to get a better deso timing, right? Let's say you got your deso at minute 13, try to get it at minute 12. Same thing for your blink or your BKB. And that's all you have to do. It's so strong. Traps are super good, and jungle items are just cash money for TA, right? Because you just rush a deso, and by the time you come out of the jungle with the deso at minute 12, you also have an Ironwood tree, and you also have an Ocean Heart. And it's like, oh, okay, all of a sudden, this TA has like 4 stat items at deso and treads. How in the world do we fight it? We can't. Next up on the list, we have Winter Wyvern. Now this hero, over 19 games, had a 68% win rate, which is insane as well. That's actually the win rate I was referring to when talking about TA. 68%. I really, ever since I saw this patch, or even just a little bit into it, I was like, yeah, Wyvern is insane. The ability to do damage to people when they're cursed is nutty. It is nutty, especially for the early game. You can just kill some support guaranteed every single fight. You just curse them and they die. And it's not like your other spells are trash. You have the physical invulnerability, and your Q is pretty nutty. It really is an insane spell at base value. If you just hit everyone once, they just start ticking for like 20% of their health or something like that. It's nuts how effective that spell is. In addition, in the laning stage, I think it's relatively easy to use. All you'd have to do is pair it with a hero like Magnus or Beastmaster or Tusk or Treant or Brew, and it does extremely well because you just need some hero to frontline, and Wyvern does a lot of damage in the backline as long as it has its spells up. Also, I just once again like the idea of having a hero that can stack jungle. Wyvern's W is fantastic for that because right away when you cast a spell, like literally as it comes out, the creep camp will start running, and of course as well is super good at defending towers. I don't know, I think it's become more and more prevalent in Dota and more popularized, the idea of just having one hero that can protect and save towers, and Wyvern is very good at that. Also, it's a counter pick to a lot of heroes that we were seeing. I think it's pretty good against TA in general. I think it's solid against the likes of a lot of the right-click lineups that we saw. We saw quite a bit of Tusks. I think it's pretty good against Treant. I think it's overall good against a hero like Razor, Drow, Beastmaster. All of these, I think it's very good against, and therefore it's a top meta pick in my opinion. 7 on the list, we have Magnus. Why Magnus? Yes, this hero is just still so good. Magnus is so good. Like it's one of those things where as long as it has this ability to empower itself and just flash farm, you're going to get jungle items and you're just going to get extremely tanky. Like literally, I don't even know what the level is, but it's like you hit 12, you buy some bracers and ags, a wand, treads, and you have like 3k HP with your talents and you just walk in frontline. And it's like, okay, they have 2 options. They either try to go on you, which typically won't work because you have 3k HP, or they ignore you and then get 3-man RP by some like rhino guy just walking around. It's so strong, way too strong in my opinion, and that's why Magnus has a 61% win rate, which isn't extremely high. Obviously there's ways to play around it. Clearly the hero isn't TA level, at least in my opinion, but at the same time, Magnus is still extremely good. If you're a Magnus spammer, it's really great in solo queue because you just farm so fast. This hero farms so fast when you have treads. Also, treads are great right now, but you farm so fast. Coming in at number 8, we have Drow, and the first thing I want to say about Drow is I think it feels really nice to draft around Drow, especially a lot of the top meta heroes. In my opinion, I think Doom is great with Drow. I think Venge Drow is absolutely fantastic. I think Viper Drow feels great. Puck Drow, Disruptor Drow. It's not that Drow necessarily directly affects these heroes. I mean, the ultimate is great with them, but overall, I still think just Drow is easy to draft around. That's the main thing I'm trying to say. It's easy to draft around Drow, which feels great, and the hero does a ton of damage. Its multi-shot is absolutely insania. It is insania, player for liquid. But no joke, it's just so good. You just use this, it farms camps, helps you get ahead in the early game, allows you to defend towers in the early game, deal damage in the mid and late game. Multi-shot really just purely is an insane ability. At number 9, we have Razor. Razor had a 60% win rate over 15 games, and the only thing I want to say about Razor is that you can first pick this hero in pubs, and it does well in basically every single matchup, and it's just a solid hero. Farms jungle extremely well, as you can see as a pattern, just lets you get jungle items, and it just does extremely well at every single stage of the game. Static Link is easy to use, and is very strong. And finally, last on the list, this hero isn't necessarily that clearly, broken right now, but I think it's very strong, and it particularly counters heroes like Slark. I think it's fairly good against Doom in lane. I think it does pretty well against a lot of these heroes, and that hero is Bloodseeker. Right? Bloodseeker over 12 games had a 67% win rate, which, is only 12 games, but it's at least above 10, right? And that's super high, 67%. The reason being, I think this hero flash farms extremely well. I briefly watched it in the last video I made, showing that it's one of those heroes where it's like, if you get ahead, you just hit your item timings, right? Whether or not you're going Drums, Maelstroms, or Radiance, you hit your item timing, you show up to the fight, and you just clean up. You clean up. This hero does so much damage, it lanes extremely well. I think Bloodright is one of the most broken abilities in the game. If you don't know what Bloodright is, it is his AoE nuke that is super low mana, high damage, easy to land in the laning stage, and should be taken at level 1 in the majority of games. If you're playing Bloodseeker and you're still taking your Q or Thirst, I think you're playing the hero wrong. I think you should take your W, secure range creeps, deal damage, and snowball. And before we end off the video, I want to give 2 more heroes honorable mentions before we head out. I just want to say I think DK is a very solid hero. It went 5-0 in the tournament, which is pretty solid overall. 5-0 is respectable. And then there's PL. The reason why I think PL is good is it particularly counters heroes in the meta, such as Viper, and it's fairly good against Doom. It's relatively good against Treant, and as a result, it's a good first phase hero if you see these top meta heroes. 2 in particular that I think you notably counter are the Viper and the Treant. So if you see them, you're like, okay, maybe I can pick up this PL this game and have pretty good matchups later on. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the tournament just as much as I did, once again, like and subscribe. Helps us out a lot. We're trying to grow, as always, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace. Are you tired of being hard stuck at your rank? Over at gameleap.com, we have a library of hundreds of guides authored by pro players and coaches covering literally every aspect of Dota. Whether you're looking to master a new hero or role, or just polish up your existing skills, GameLeap is the proven place for competitive gamers to hone their craft and unlock their secret potential. Hit the link on screen right now, to take advantage of our special offer for a 25% discount, guys. 25%, and start your journey today.